Okay, we're going to take a look at an introduction to writing a screenplay. Now, a screenplay is really different from writing a book or an essay or really any other kind of writing that you've ever done. It's essentially like a blueprint for a movie or TV show. And it has a very, very particular format or way that it looks. And this is an example of a little screenplay here that I wrote. And I want to show you and break it down for you so that you can see the different parts. So when you look at this, you'll notice something right away that it's got numbers along in the column here, 1, 2, 3. Now, these represent the different scenes, right? Every time the camera moves like into a new room or a new location, it's a new scene. So notice the way this is set up. It says 1. And then it's grayed here. There's a little gray bar and it says int, kitchen, night. So what does that mean? So scenes are either int, which means interior, inside, or ext, ext, which is outside. Screenplays are written this way so that the director can look at this and say, okay, these are the scenes that have to be shot inside of a room or inside someplace versus scenes that are outdoors. That way they can coordinate the shooting so that they do them on different days. Or they do all the ints together one day and all the exteriors on another day, or maybe it takes months to do, depending, but it's a way of organizing inside versus outside. So this is the way it's always written out. Int, and you don't have to write out interior, just int, and then abbreviate with a dot. And then what is the place? Well, this is a kitchen. This scene takes place in a kitchen. And then is it day or night? So right now we can see, hey, bam, we see a kitchen, nighttime, and we know that we're in the right place, okay? Now you'll notice that like scene 2 is also an interior shot, but it's in a bathroom at night. And then scene 3 is also interior, but it's in a bedroom. And you'll see that it keeps on, each scene breaks down. Some scenes can be very short, some can be really long. Now eventually we'll get to the point where there's an exterior shot somewhere down the line here. There we go, there's an exterior shot. And you can see that way that it's organized very nicely by inside or outside. Now, the next part here, this section here, this is what we call the description of the action, right? It's not like you're writing an essay or even like where you're writing a book exactly. It's just a straight, very clear description of what is going on in the scene. What does the camera see? So you'll notice here it says Ray, it says RR, that's his nickname, is sitting in a chair alongside his grandfather Harold, who is in a wheelchair watching cartoons. Okay, now this is a very direct description of what's going on. That's all it is. And notice that the names of the characters are capitalized, and this is usually done when the character first comes into the movie, just so that the director can make sure they're clear on, okay, this is the first time that Ray is in the movie. So notice that it describes, without any colorful language, just a direct description of what we see. Now, this might be one sentence long, or it might be a little more, right? If the action changes, like here it says, they pull out 2 TV dinners, he uncurls the foil, gets some forks out of a drawer, and places them both on trays. So it's very, very specific, right? There may also be some description that's necessary. For example, it says, Harold looks quite old and in poor health. He has lots of tubes attached to him. So right away, we can see that this is an old man. He's in bad health. He's got tubes attached to him. And then we see the whole opening scene, what it looks like. And it's all taking place in this kitchen at night. Now then notice it changes a little bit, right? Notice that the action is flush against the margin here, right? But then all of a sudden, notice that a name pops out in capital letters and it says Harold. And then it says underneath, pour me some juice, will you? Okay, so what's happening here is this. When the name is pushed out to the middle like this, that means that the character is talking. And who's talking? Harold, right? We can see that. So it says Harold, and then it says, pour me some juice, will you? That's what Harold is saying, okay? Those are the exact lines. Those are the lines that the actor would have to memorize because those are the speaking lines. Now then it goes back. Notice here, that's all he says is that one line. then it says RR does so. So that's action again, see? So normally what happens in a script, you've got action, and then you've got a character with some dialogue, action, character, dialogue, and they're flowing back and forth and back and forth. Now notice here, it jumps over to another int again, inside, this time it's in a bathroom, and we see a description, right? Harold and RR are in the bathroom, RR is helping Harold brush his teeth, and so on. It goes on. Now in this scene, there's only action. There's no character talking. There's no dialogue at all. It's quick, it's easy, that's all it is. Scene 3, this takes place in the bedroom here. RR wakes up in the middle of the night to arguing in Harold's room. He peeps in and sees his Uncle Tyrone yelling at his grandfather who's sitting up in bed. Okay, that's the action. Then it jumps to Tyrone says something, right? He says, they'd be giving you all these damn pills for free, blah, blah, blah. So you see that's his actual lines, his speaking lines. And notice again how they're indented out. And then we go back to action again, right? And then it goes on to the next scene, and then it goes on and on and on. Now that's basically what you have to understand in terms of the way a screenplay is formatted, okay? Now, the nice thing here about this program that we're going to learn called Celtics is that it does this formatting for you automatically. So you don't have to like be using the space bar or anything to try to make it look like this. And I'm going to show you in the next video how to actually set this up so that it can format it right for you as you go along, okay?